Okay, so in this class, we're going to talk about those examples that many scientists are finding. And if you go to the readings, you will see that in many cases, everybody start going and trying to explain everything with Mendelian inheritance and creating hypotheses that didn't make any sense and that they were very complicated. And what we know now is that not all the genes are dominant or they are not recessive, that inheritance is more complex. So we're going to start talking about non-Mendelian inheritance patterns, and we're going to talk about some of those examples. And later, in the next section, we are going to talk about the importance again of the environment, that it seems to be more and more important, and it seems that it will continue gaining more importance to understand inheritance. To start, I'm going to give a little review of the topic of Mendelian inheritance. Okay, so now let's review some concepts that we studied before. So if you remember, this P means parental. This F is the filial one, so the generation one. This F2 here is the filial two, so it's the second generation. Here, these two are purebreds. This is a concept that if you don't remember, you have to mhm, that you need to study. Remember, both are homozygous. In this case, if you see, these are both are or capital P's or lower P's, and if you see each one of these one pass one of the letters here that represent the alleles, the form of a gene, and here you get a combination. You get a heterozygous in this case. And if this F1 self-pollinize, you get this beautiful pattern of 3-1. So you get 1, 2, and 3 purple ones and 1 white one. And so we all studied that before when Mendel started studying this, he didn't know what it was a gene, he didn't know exactly what it was a chromosome, but now we are clear of the mechanism and how this happened. So we know that genes are passed from parents to the offspring. So you see the purple flowers and the white flowers passing their genes. And in the F2, you can even see a white flower coming back. This one and this one here. Second thing is that you get one allele from each parent. So for example, here from the purple flower, you get one P, and from the white flower, you get a lowercase p. And in the next generation, you get again. So this is how you get a heterozygous here, and each allele come from one of the parents. So this is something that you must already know. And this one too. And the other concept that is very important that we talk is about meiosis, that now we know what is the mechanism that explains these 3-1 ratios, is that during meiosis the alleles for a gene segregate from each other. And finally, we also know that during meiosis genes independently assort with each other. So 4 concepts that you must know. If not, please go to the Campbell Biology and review those concepts, or go back to the video lectures of in the previous classes. Another concept that we study about the Mendelian inheritance is that there is a trait that is dominant and the other one recessive. So the dominant, the allele that is dominant, mask the recessive allele. So this is why in the previous exercise, although we have these purple ones, flowers, this is the phenotype, and we have the white one, flowers. So as the purple one is dominant over the white one, in the next generation, the purple allele is going to mask the the white allele, and you're going to have a purple flower. So this is the dominant, and it's going to mask the expression of this one. And we need to self-pollinize, and in the F2 you will get this ratio of 3:1 to be able to see it again. So the recessive only will appear when they are homozygous. Okay, now we're going to solve an exercise. And in this exercise, I want that you first read it. If you want, you can stop the video. It's very easy, and you can skip if you want the video if it's very easy for you. I think for most of you it will be very easy, so you can solve it by yourself. If I'm going to solve it relatively slowly for people that still have questions about this topic. And I apologize here. I'm going to use purple. I will use it with the color purple, but the white one I will use it with red because you cannot see it if I write it with white. Okay, so let's read this exercise, and it says something very important. They say, in pea plants, you have purple flowers that have a symbol, the capital P, so that is in purple. So you have purple flowers that are dominant. So here you have these purple flowers that are P, and you will also have white flowers. So that are the white flowers that have a lowercase p, while the purple flowers have a capital A. Okay, so that is the first thing that you have to do, is write the information. The second thing that they said is that show the cross between the two heterozygous plants. So if they are heterozygous, the cross will look something like this. You have a capital here and a lowercase here. And this is the cross that you have to solve. So it's very easy. Here we will need to get the genotypes and the phenotypes, and in both cases we will need the percentage and the ratios. So first thing that you have to do is to add the information here, separate the alleles. So remember, this is the cross. So you will have here the dominant, and here you have your recessive, and here you will have again dominant, and here you will have your recessive. So super easy. These two will give us as you have these two capital, here you will get the 2p in purple, that this will be homozygous dominant. Yeah, here you will get a heterozygous, and here you will get another heterozygous, and here you get a homozygous recessive. So now that we know all the colors and how the flowers will look like, we know that the genotypes, 1/4, 25% will be homozygous dominant here. So here is 25%. Heterozygous, we will have 50%, so 25 here and 25 here. So this gave us 50%. I will have it in red, and this is why you have this 50%. And finally, you will have the last group that I will have it here in green. That is 25%. That it will be the homozygous recessive, and it will be these white plants. That's white plants. Now, if you see the ratios, they are also very easy to get. So the ratio is 1. Here you have double, 2, and 1. And finally, the phenotypes are also very easy to get. So here you will get, let me delete this so this is easier for you to read. And okay, now that I already deleted, so this one will be purple because it's heterozygous. This one will be purple. And finally, this one was already white. So what you have to do is just count. So if you count 75%, and why 75%? Because here you have 1, 2, and 3. And if you divide 3 divided into 4, here you will get a 75%. While here you only have 1 out of 4, so this will be only 0.25, so you get 25%. So very easy. So this is how you get the ratio, the percentage. Now we're going to get the ratio. So very easy. You just have to count here 1, 2, and 3, and here you just count 1. So here this is how you get both ratios and percentages of genotypes and phenotypes. Now let's go to the next example. Okay, this is another exercise. You can read it. It's also very easy to solve. And here you have an schematic of what is happening. And you just have to know based on the phenotype. Yeah, you know the phenotype. So you have to go and look for the genotype. So what are the genotypes? So it's very easy, and later I will solve it during class, or I will post a video where I solve it. And here we have another example of another exercise, another question. In this case, we are working with pigeons, and again you have the phenotype, and based on the phenotype and the crosses, you will have to guess the genotypes, and it's not too difficult, and I will solve it in class, and if I don't solve it, I will post the solution in the video.